The 2022-23 campaign was a forgettable one for Liverpool. The Reds finished 5th in the league standings and could have fallen down further had it not been for a mini revival which pushed them comfortably away from the bottom half of the table. Failure to qualify for Champions League was even more surprising, given the fact that Jurgen Klopp's men finished 2nd in the Premier League in 2022 and lost the league title by just a point.
It's still not my favorite place.
Expectation was that the Merseysiders would build on the performance. The previous season was quite a weird one in the sense that 3 of Premier League's self-proclaimed Big Six finished outside the top 4, with Newcastle United breaking the proverbial glass ceiling to have a seat at the table with Europe's elite. With Europa League to look forward to, you can be sure that Klopp would be grimacing like an old feline at the tune of the competition, which is never going to be as iconic as the one we hear on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Regardless of all this, it was always going to be crucial for Liverpool to invest heavily in a squad that underperformed, while also saying goodbye to players who no longer looked the part in the previous campaign. Having said that, the need to invest in the squad became even more important after the business done by rivals such as Manchester United and Arsenal. The Red Devils have sorted out their goalkeeper mess by bringing in Andre Onana, added an extra layer to midfield by signing Mason Mount, and have finally signed a young but high-potential striker in Rasmus Højlund. Arsenal, on the other hand, have added more depth to their squad by signing Kai Havertz, massively improved their midfield by signing Declan Rice for a lot of money, and brought in Jurrien Timber, who is a perfect centre-back for Mikel Arteta. City never needed to bring in multiple signings, but Pep Guardiola has made minor tweaks by bringing in Mateo Kovacic to replace Ilkay Gundogan, while the signing of Joško Gvardiol means that they now have another ball-playing defender with a high ceiling. Chelsea were woeful last season, but their ability to spend big hasn't been dampened. They spent a combined €207 million on Christopher Nkunku, Axel Disasi, Nico Jackson, Roberto Sanchez, Leslie Ugochukwu, and Angelo. Other teams have also spent a lot of money, including Newcastle, who spent big on Sandro Tonali from AC Milan. The old guard has been well and truly replaced. James Milner, Roberto Firmino, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Naby Keita were let go. Jordan Henderson, who has been an absolute leader for the team, has reunited with former teammate Steven Gerrard at Saudi Pro League side Al Ettifaq, where he will also reunite with former Liverpool teammate Fabinho, who had a stinker of a 22-23 campaign. Liverpool have generated roughly €61 million from their transfer outgoings, but at the same time, they have already spent big on new arrivals. The arrival of Dominik Szoboszlai for €70 million outlines Klopp's ambitions of having a tactical setup that allows the front line to thrive. The Austrian attacking midfielder is one of the best progressive passers around, and his ability to break deeper blocks is something that would be refreshing to see. Last season, Liverpool really struggled to break down stubborn defenses. Not just that, the youngster is quite a goal threat due to his shooting ability and good movement inside the penalty area. The Austrian signing complements that of Alexis McAllister, who played such an instrumental role in guiding Argentina to World Cup glory in Qatar last year. McAllister can perform in multiple midfield roles. He is good at receiving the ball between the lines, deeper or behind while under pressure. He has great spatial awareness, which allows him to get out of tight spots. Such instincts mean that during transitions, Liverpool will gain more ground very quickly because McAllister's second touches are mostly progressive in nature. Last season, he ranked 9th for total shots in the league, which means that the Argentine is also a very serious goal threat. But of course, while these two signings are going to really help Liverpool add more attacking output to their play, the departure of Fabinho means that the Reds need a midfielder who thrives in the number 6 role. And this is where the name Romeo Lavia comes in. The young Belgian signed for Southampton last season and, despite being only 18 at the time, was thrown straight into the spotlight. But the teenager proved to be more than capable of holding his own while playing for a side that struggled for consistency and deservedly got relegated. The youngster does seem to be an upgrade on Fabinho in a sense that he is very much press resistant and wins back possession quite regularly. An all-action midfielder, Lavia wins possession all over the pitch, has great work rate, never stops trying, and provides a great barrier to the defense. The teenager is on the level of both Jude Bellingham and Eduardo Camavinga when it comes to defensive contributions. However, it isn't just his defensive side of the game that makes Lavia such a treat to watch. The young Belgian exudes calmness on the ball. Last season, he was the most pressed player for Southampton, but still managed to attain a pass completion of 86.2%. While operating as a deep-lying midfielder, Lavia also gets involved in attacking transitions, which is a perfect fit for Klopp's style of play, which can be a little chaotic at times. His time with the Saints was a trial by fire. Moving to Liverpool could be even more daunting, but Lavia has already shown that he can thrive in adversity, so if this move goes through, expect Liverpool to be proud owners of a player who is still developing. But one thing that is definitely going to impact Liverpool is their defense, which has been an issue for a long time. While the defensive vulnerability was never seen as a major issue when the likes of Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Firmino were scoring goals for fun, things changed a lot last season. Salah had a poor start to the campaign. New signing Darwin Núñez struggled to adapt, while Diogo Jota also had a barren run. On top of that, Luis Diaz's injury added more to the profligacy. Defensive issues need to be addressed in the summer if Klopp is to avoid another mediocre campaign. While they have scored freely in pre-season, scoring 15 times in 4 games, they have also conceded 10 goals, which isn't really surprising if you watch them play last season, where most of the efforts were lackadaisical for the lack of a better word. Klopp seems to be confused about Trent Alexander-Arnold's role, with the Englishman playing at number 6 at the start of pre-season, before going back to being a right-back where his attacking isn't experienced or versatile enough to get the job done consistently. Of course, there's always Stefan Bajcetic, who is a rising star for sure, but the youngster's minutes still need to be managed. Signing another defender should definitely be on the agenda, but given the club's current financial situation, it might not happen. But having said all this, it is clear that this Liverpool side has an embarrassment of riches up front and will score lots of goals. The arrival of Lavia is likely to raise the defensive output. However, a lot will be expected of the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Dayo Upamecano to be consistent throughout the campaign, and hopefully they will stay injury-free. At the same time, Liverpool struggled a lot away from home, and their inability to stamp their authority on their travels played a big part in them not being in the Champions League next season. However, all this could potentially change with new signings, and maybe a few tactical tweaks that Klopp has been talking about during pre-season. But would that be enough? As the saying goes, attack wins you games, and defense wins you titles. This couldn't be truer for a Liverpool side which should be desperate to hit the ground running and try to make life miserable for Manchester City, Arsenal, and Manchester United, who have done some serious business in the transfer market. Where do you think Liverpool will finish next season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Till next time.